With the Democratic Party establishment demonstrating their cluelessness and incompetence more and more every single day, Noam Chomsky, who is someone I really respect, actually spoke about this and said that the Democratic Party, they have a really clear and obvious path that they can take if they want to win back some of the voters that they lost to Donald Trump. And that path is through Bernie Sanders. The Independent explains, Mr. Chomsky, the renowned scientist and philosopher, said American workers have been beaten down for decades with weakened labor unions and stagnant wage growth since neoliberal policies were instituted in 1979. President Obama supporters in 2008 and 2012 were voting for his slogan of hope and change, but were disappointed. But the professor said that if young people and activists revived a strong labor movement which could overcome racial conflict like it did in the 1930s, then the workers' favor could be won back. Suppose people like the Sanders movement offered an authentic, constructive program for real hope and change. It would win these people back, he said. I think many of the Trump voters could have voted for Sanders if there had been the right kind of activism and organization, and those are possibilities. It's been done in the past under much harsher circumstances. You should also bear in mind what a remarkable phenomenon the Sanders campaign was. Here's somebody unknown, came from nowhere, was using words like socialism, which used to be a real curse word, no corporate or media support, no support from the wealthy, everything that has been crucial to win elections. He could have taken over the Democratic Party if it hadn't been for the shenanigans you know about, he said, perhaps alluding to the Democratic National Committee's alleged attempt to smear Bernie Sanders. And he's absolutely correct. Now, the reason why many people were so inspired by Bernie Sanders and why we kind of looked at him as a turning point in American history is because he could have been the next FDR. He is one of a kind. There are very few politicians that are as principled and devoted to the American people as Bernie Sanders. And I've stated during the primaries that if we pass up this opportunity, we may never get this opportunity to elect someone like Bernie Sanders ever again. And the fact that we did pass up that opportunity, that the DNC passed up that opportunity, it's just so, it's heartbreaking, honestly, because Bernie Sanders could have made the Democratic Party exponentially more popular than they are. And seeing that just 30% of the American population actually is a registered Democrat, they needed to lure in more voters. They have a base that they were ignoring for decades that's hurting. Ever since the neoliberal wing of the Democratic Party took over in the 1990s with Bill Clinton and then Barack Obama, and now with Hillary Clinton, who tried to do that, it's just been nothing but more of the same. And look, I don't want to perpetuate this false equivalence between Democrats and Republicans because there is a difference. But since Republicans are so crazy, since they're so off the spectrum, I mean, their policies would just hurt the country and the world. But Democrats are basically the only ticket that we have to stopping Republicans. And all they do is try to be more and more like Republicans. All they do is try to court more big money donors and be more corrupt and more establishment. You know, we can tell when someone betrayed us. And the Democratic Party, they betrayed us. We want a candidate that's going to support universal health care, free college tuition. But you guys decided to spit in our face. And even though Hillary Clinton claims to have embraced those policies, we know that she didn't actually care about it and only decided to talk about those policies when she needed millennial votes. So, I mean, look, we're fighting for our lives here, and if the Democratic Party doesn't wake up, then we're all going to suffer due to their incompetence. And right now, they have someone that's a true leader, Bernie Sanders, who's now more relevant than their party's nominee, Hillary Clinton. He's still doing more. He's still fighting against the Dakota Access Pipeline and speaking out on progressive issues. That person is the de facto Democratic Party leader. If you don't take his advice, you're going to lose again and again, and we're all going to suffer because of it.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.